No explanation there? Oh, it's fine. Well, we can theorize, but it definitely is ends out, isn't it? I did, okay. Well, Mr. Wrong, we have, that's author this time. We had them last reading actually, which was the 2748, the driving roadkill from Shaanxi, which goddamn, which means when the car hit, when you caused the roadkill, whatever animal you hit was like gonna possess your car, and your car would like transform with having like attributes of the animal, so like, you know, fur, either outside the car or like the insides would be made out as a material and so on and so forth. Like it would literally become like the animal itself, and they would possess the vehicle, whatever you hit them with. And that was the last one we had from Mr. Wrong. And now we have junk mail, and mail written as in like M-A-L-E, like me, man, not mail as in like letter. And this one has a 1.3 K tail that I will read. Object class containing procedures. Mobile Task Force Alpha 4 Pony Express is tasked with the identification and interception of SCP-2752 instances before they are sent to the addresses of the respective recipients. A scanned copy of each recovered SCP-2752 instances is to be produced and stored in Archival Sector 7 at Site 64. After scanning, original copies may be incinerated. Persons affected by SCP-2752 are to be held at E-Class holding cells at Site 64 and undergo weekly medical checkups. At the discretion of the attending medical officer, invasive surgical procedures may be enacted on such persons to prevent health complications attributed to SCP-2752. Description: SCP-2752 refers to a series of letters mailed to New Zealand addresses, offering advertising mail opt-out services to recipients. The center is attributed to an organization named Robinson to... Oh yeah, no, that is a... What is that? That's not a U. That's something different. The iPod symbol. A type of vowel sound used in some spoken languages. The iPod symbol that represents this sound is formerly called horseshoe U. Huh. So, I don't know, Tolease, which is not listed as a registered company in New Zealand or any politely known to the Foundation. No return address is found in confiscated SCP-2752 instances. To date, all known instances of SCP-2752 are sent solely to male individuals aged between 20 and to 60 with legal addresses in New Zealand cities. Mission of the The mission of that MTF is Mobile Task Force Alpha 4 consists primarily of personnel trying to act as undercover employees and specialize in tracking, intercepting, and securing anomalous objects sent through postal and package delivery. Yeah, I mean, it explains why it's called Pony Express then. Yeah, here we go. Service worldwide. Oh, you should. Okay, I see. Thanks for the little copy paste there. I mean, it would work for a motherfucker. Like all the letters would be is in motherfucker. I'm just saying. The T is a bit of a stretch because it's the T in the mother, but yeah. When SCP-2752 is read by its intended recipient, here referred to as subject, the following anomalous occurrence will manifest. Cessation of mail letters advertising mail or otherwise sent to the address of the subject instances. Through the use of letters equipped with a GPS tracker, letters are shown to have vanished when placed inside a mailbox. Hand-delivered mail letters are exempted from this effect. And then we have clear cognizance regarding the content of mail letters that would be sent to the subjects. This occurs after said letters are placed in a mailbox. Traces of black dye manifested in subject's urinary system, particularly the kidney, bladder, and urethra. Beautiful, nice. Manifestation of paper pieces inside subject's internal organs, including stomachs, large intestines, lungs, kidneys, etc. And the black dye must be like ink or something like that. Scanned and handwritten copies of SCP-2752 do not possess this effect on the intended recipient. SCP-2752 was identified on 1975. Also, I just now realized you guys haven't seen the song titles there. There we go. 74 in Auckland, New Zealand, when multiple paper strips were found in the lungs of POY 2752-1, Mr. after surgery. While initially believed to be an isolated incident, similar cases were identified in other New Zealand cities, and SCP-2752 was officially classified. Addendum 1. Interview log POY 2752-4-13, date 1975. So interviewee is the POY 27. Okay, dash for Mr. Dr. Astor Black. Pissing ink would be a good party trick, though. It would not. It would be highly if anybody came up to me like, look what I can do, and then pisses black liquid out of the body, I'd be like, you need to go to a fucking doctor. Either you didn't drink water ever in your life, or something internally in you is broken, because that is not okay. The following interview is conducted at POY 2752-4's request. And we have Dr. Astor Black. I heard you have requested for me, so what's wrong? Doctor, wrong is an understatement. I received another letter, up here. POY 2752-A04 points to its forehead. We've debriefed on this already. It's a difficult time, but it was from Robinson to release. Okay, now I'm listening. What did they say? The usual, thank you for using us crap, but they sure have a weird way of expressing they have fucked up. Please give me some examples of these expressions. That I didn't know that cellulose is indigestible, or that ink poisoning is a thing, and the biological peculiarities of the so-called humans of this plane, that was underlined in a direct quote. They also gave us compensation, a check with a very large sum of money in yen. Do you recall the value? Wait a minute. 960 billion yen. Take two zeros away. There will be $9 billion. That is crazy amount of money. Yen, precisely that amount. But doctor, if this is anything like the rest of the so-called services, I'm not getting any real money, am I? We'll have to wait and see first. Accepted. Explode. Interviews with other subjects indicate that they have received similar letters from Robinson to release. The value offered by Robinson to release is consistent among all subjects at a value of 960 billion yen. You could. It's cool if you're high. I've never touched it. It's not cool if you're high. I think that would freak you out even more, because like then you would be like, you're like, okay, something in this is making me see shit. Honestly, if somebody pissed ink, I would first think it would be blood, and I'd be like, okay, you have some internal bleeding. And then the moment I'm like, oh, it's not blood, it's pitch black, I'd be like, okay, you don't have internal bleeding, but something is wrong with your body. If someone pissed ink in a party, I would call the hospital, absolutely. But remember, it's junk mail, right? And we know what junk mail means. It usually means it's fake. It's a scam. So it's not a friend. They're trying to scam you. Unless you think that the Nigerian prince who's like, I will send you $2 billion if you just give me your social security number and your identification and your address is your friend, then yeah, sure, that. Addendum 2 on 1975. Postage stamps are found manifested underneath the tongues of all known subjects. This includes the corpses of currently deceased subjects, which said stamps manifested from within the edges of said instances. Why scam us humans? Why do we scam each other, my guy? Who's to say they're not scamming other eldritch beings as well, and we just don't know about it? Denomination is stated as 960 billion yen. The stamps have a banana tree motif and are labeled Daito Malai Bahu. We will actually read this because I'm kind of curious. No anomalous quality has been identified among recovered stamps. All instances of said postage stamps are professionally kept in storage sector 2 at site 64 and stay for incineration. Here we go. So this is the short little tale that we have here. There's something else here. Let me just open that up for now. There's something in my mouth, underneath the tongue. It's nothing relatively uncommon. Of late, my urine is black, and I have excreted strips of paper. Ever since I opened a letter from Robertson, and this will just lead me back to that one, yeah. From Robertson to Leeds, and then quarantined by the Foundation. So that's been a new norm. So much for uneventful retirement in New Zealand. My tongue twirls around my mouth. I cannot do a New Zealand accent, by the way, so I'm sorry. My tongue twirls around my mouth, feeling for the mysterious thing that is still inside. I could like, hey, I'm cork. It feels soft. Probably another piece of paper, but I'm not going to do that. Eventually, I spit it out. A squarish shape appears on an otherwise still floor, coated in my saliva. Despite its condition, I can make out the yen symbol on the shape. Ah, yes. So that is the compensation. As I've mentioned a few days ago, in the form of a postal stamp. But the stamp consists of more than the denomination, the image of the banana tree, the words Dai To A Malai Bahu. That is. Stop, Miyafushi, Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto ordered. I still remember that day clearly. Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto invited me for a stroll in the park. Even when Americans' bombardment were increasingly common in the cities, our feet trod upon stone pavement, islands in a sea of grass. In front, 2 paths led ahead, left and right. Yes, sir, I obeyed the Lieutenant Colonel's order. Look at the paths. Which one will you take? I'll follow the path you take, sir. Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto was silent, shaking his head grimly. Perhaps he did not decide that answer. Sir, I expressed only loyalty to a word. I was cut off by him. I did not ask for elaboration, but it appears I must guide you again. My apologies, sir. I bowed at Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto. This crossroads is the 5th we cross within this park. The outcome of the paths we have chosen. Here, we have to make another choice. Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto explained. Choices are important. Miyafuchi. They define the present moment and guide us to the future. More importantly, choices require actions. Do you understand all of that? Yes, sir. So, what will be your choice? As they long and hard 2 paths, both looked so similar to the other that they felt like the same path regardless of what I choose. Corporal, we are at war. The Americans will bomb us any minute. We do not have the luxury to contemplate. I exited my deep thought. That way! I cried, my finger pointing out to somewhere. It was on neither path, but out into the grass, and another diversion stone paths. Yes, the current situation is not preferable, yes? The Empire is in a dire situation, Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto mused to himself. We desire for a better present. But to do so, we must redo the choices already made. So, Miyafushi, how can you reach the direction you pointed at? Walk it directly. Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto smiled and stepped upon the grass. He then rummaged his pocket and produced a banknote. The image of a banana plant was printed onto said banknote. A souvenir during my previous assignment in Malaya, he explained, handing the banknote to me. I'll be away from time to find a better situation wherein the choices made result that in the Empire's continuation, and the Anomaly Agency hopes that we can seek help from these situations. Yes. I paused briefly. Sir, may I help in your mission? No. I need you here. You have to protect your mother. I hope the Americans enjoy the taste of women of defeated nations. Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto cautioned. Do not worry, no one will ever harm the Lieutenant Colonel's sister. Good. Then, farewell. So, gotcha. The explanation on the discussion on the we use the two Robinson 2 release is a rough phonetic estimation of the Japanese particle, roughly meaning and. I see. So it's a Japanese Eldritch I mean, not sure if it's Eldritch, but it is Japanese. Some days later, Some days later, I while my time at the library in the internment area. After all, there's little to do beyond reading up on English. At least I can improve my grasp in that language. While flipping through a book on English grammar, an unusual thought pierces through. Dear Miyafushi, very few people whom I know will call me that. Before I knew it, the next thought manifests. Sincerely, Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto. Uncle? Yeah. And like a river, more thoughts stream in. Found appropriate reality. There, Empire exists. And I can tell. I recall that stamp, which I surrendered to the Foundation nurse when they asked for it. After all, they have power over me entirely. It's unwise to oppose them. Send the stamp as validation. I planned the design. Seriously? What about the world you're in now? Empire still exists. Humans there possess strong digestion, can dissolve even cellulose. History and culture is similar to ours. Society mostly disinterested in interdimensional travel. That's good, so you don't get like accidentally visited by something else. That explains the unusual methods. Uncle, how is your mission? Ah, okay, the unusual method was like, yeah, because they don't travel much, so now they sending letters into people's bodies and all that stuff. Makes sense. Traveling along to find appropriate reality. Only Robinson 2 leads interested in interdimensional travel. We can only transmit words and small subjects. Like the stamp. Send the stamp as validation. I plan the design. I know that already. My voice pierces the silence of the library. Those around me stare at me. I then bury my head into the book, pretending to be reading it. But how do you know to reach out to me? So I worked for Robinson 2 Lease, saw a client list. Your name and address are on it. So you sent me a letter. Thank you, Uncle. Sincerely, Lieutenant Colonel Sakamoto. I know about Mom. Wait, I'm not actually speaking to him. I sigh. I have placed myself in the client list too. If you intend to contact me, my address is... Of course, the moment the address gets faded out. So Sakamoto is writing from an alternate reality where Japan won World War II. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes... Yeah, because he said the Empire exists here. Yeah. No, I'm effectively a prisoner here. I have to get by the Foundation if I want to live. Well, that would be good. I'm going to turn off the fan because otherwise I'm going to constantly be blown with cold air and that's going to make me sleepy. Let me just finish reading this real quick. I want a letter to be sent and they will know some things are from the address alone. How? Amidst my thoughts, I feel the urge of nature calling, specifically of the ink and paper processing inside of me. I left my book with medical assistance, wherein I continue pondering for a solution. In the end, I think there may be a way. The following day, I'm once again in the Foundation's interrogation room by my request. The Foundation doctor, Dr. Cohen, is my interrogator. So, Mr. Miyafushi, you have requested for me? What is the issue? My uncle wrote to me. He is IJAMEA Lieutenant Colonel Ryosei Sakamoto, and here we have the... Yeah, that. I think we got to see this in the other SCP briefs moment. As you may, but the group is not dead, or at least parts of it. That stamp is evidence. They have found a world where the Axis won the war instead. What do you know about that world? Dr. Cohen's face stiffens. Not much, but there's an interference. I reply, if they are willing to send in trivial things like stamps and letters, what else are they willing to send across? And you're telling us this because Dr. Cohen pauses, waiting for my response. I want to help you. Allow me to have correspondence with my uncle, and I will feed you the information you need. And why should we trust you? I requested to meet you instead of running off. Dr. Cohen stares at me briefly, perhaps pondering over my words. I'll bring this matter to my superior first. This conversation is over until further notice. Dr. Cohen left the room. At best, maybe we'll have a few exchanges before my ruse falls apart. It's enormous plan to the Japanese Empire. Gotcha. Okay, let me just quickly turn the fan off. There we go. Thanks, Uncle, for sending me the letter. Just one thing. Ever since you did, I can't stop pissing ink, man. My whole body feels weird. There's paper being created in my body. Couldn't you have suggested them a different way of sending information across? Did it have to be paper and ink related? Well, I could have sent you an email, but then I feel like you would have, you know, probably your brain would have fried. It's like, okay, you know what, you're right, maybe that would have happened. Maybe I should be grateful. Maybe I should be okay with that choice. On the guy muscle, indeed. Okay.